And I think that in
Definitely.
and of itself is rooted in toxicity.
Right. I think I agree with that both ways, whether it's male toxic or female toxic. Because
Yes.
I'm almost female. I'm female toxic. You know
Yeah.
what
Oh,
I
we
mean?
definitely
Because
have some traits.
Yeah.
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 So I'm bad with it, and I'll admit it. You know, I own my stuff, which
Mhm.
most society don't, but I do.
Mhm.
So I'm going to go back. I'm going to piggyback on what Amir said as far as with our lineage. You know what we learn from our lineage, what is passed down to us from generation to generation. Now, and then touch base on toxic men, or let me see, burdensome men, or inept men. So what I saw from generation to generation was women being abused with that toxic behavior. You know, why these women were being both men and women with a man in the house. You know, I'm seeing my aunt move furniture while her husband drunk as hell, but she's still cooking, she's still cleaning, she's still caring for kids. So she's doing both parts with a very well-bodied man
Right.
drunk in the back room. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I've seen these toxic behaviors. I've seen great women who do everything that a woman is supposed to do: cook, clean, iron, underwear, honey. You know what I mean? And still get cheated on, or you know what I mean, or still get mistreated. So I was kind of bitter and jaded at seeing that. That's what became me. That's what became how I became toxic in my female, toxicity, where I'm just like, you gonna, with my boys, take out the trash, open
Yeah.
up the door for a woman.
Mhm. Mhm.
If you see an elderly person, put their groceries in the car for them. Never let a woman struggle. If you see an elderly person, you help them. Take out the trash. I'm going to need for you to mow the grass. I'm going to need for you to fix the brakes on your woman's car and my car. You know what I mean? All these things that I forced upon my kid, my boys. Make sure you got money in your pocket. Make sure but treat your woman like a princess on top of that, though, with
Right.
my boys, right? It's
Yeah.
and make sure that your male presence is there. But on the flip side of that, I didn't do no cooking. I ain't clean.
Yo, dad
and
cleaning the house. He
and I
cleaned the
get
house.
pissed. Yeah, he does. He cooks for me too. But I will get
Hmm.
pissed if
Harder.
he
Like
challenges me. If my husband challenges me, I will get pissy real quick. Like, what you mean cook? I cook it. You cook. So it was reversed for me. So I'm very toxic in my. I'm a hypocrite, and I'm toxic. My
I
name
think
is
you made a
toxic.
really good point. I think you made a really good point when you said like you watched your aunt like play both roles, because now now the line is skewed. The line is it's not as clear anymore. So I think that's probably where I never really thought about it that way, because my mom is a single mom, and she has played every role possible. So watching her grow up and do things a certain type of way, teaching my brother a certain way of moving as a man, how she thought a man to be, that is, and I'm not seeing that from my dad's perspective, only her perspective. I'm gonna believe, yeah, okay, maybe that is the way it's supposed to go. Not only is this my same sex parent telling me, showing me that this is how a couple things a man is supposed to do, or what he chooses to do, um, but allowing that to her, making this clear that this is the way that he is supposed to be, even if it's not 100% true. Like women can take the trash out. I just don't want to take the trash out. I'll take the trash out if I have to take trash out, but if he's in the house and available, he's gonna go take the trash out. But that's because that's what's been instilled in me from my mom, that's played both roles my entire life, has instilled in us. So whether you want to call it gender, if you want to, I mean, it is gender roles. I'm not gonna say whether you want to call it gender roles. It's gender roles.
Gender roles for sure.
Yeah.
It's gender roles for sure. And do I agree with them? Yes, I do. And I'm not saying my reasons are valid. I'm just saying the lineage says otherwise. This is what has been instilled in me, and I can't tell you why.
I
Well,
think
I think. Go ahead. I'm quiet.
I
Go
think
ahead.
what both of you guys are saying, and the fact that you're both acknowledging and recognizing, like, hey, look, it may not be 100% the way that it should be, but it's how I feel, and
Yeah.
so I can at least appreciate that acknowledgement, because I recognize that my mom's teachings on me to be a certain kind of man didn't 100% make me that certain kind of man. Because if it did, then I would probably be more of a masculine man and more of a man who, is like, oh, nah, don't do that. Like I'm still the kind of man who is like, if I got both hands available or one hand available, and my girl goes to try to grab the bag, like, girl, move, give me that. Like that's, and I just did that with my auntie. I'm like, auntie, why are you lifting that? Move. I just told her, move, move. What are you doing? Give me that. And I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna lift it because it's like, if I'm right here and I'm more physically capable than you, then let me do it. You know,
And
it
that
doesn't
doesn't mean, and
necessarily.
some women will take that as a jab.
They
In our
will.
culture
I
They
know.
today,
sure
I
will.
Listen,
can do it.
But this
What
is
you
not
think?
a
I can't
feminist. This is
carry
not a
my own
feminist
bag.
topic.
and that's the whole thing though, because I consider myself a feminist. So I have to understand that if I'm with a woman who I know is going to take offense to me saying move, I got that. I have to be like, hey, let me help you with that.
Yes, I
You
have
know.
this fly who's trying to eat me.
I've been watching it this whole time.
He has
So
been trying to eat me this whole time.
y'all both hot.
Yeah.
I got a fly.
My mom.
got
I
my
think my mom turns. I think my mom deliberately turns the air down when she leaves the house.
Dang.
I think what's a good point. I want to and we're not trying to. I didn't come on and just try to hog your show, Daquan,
Nah,
but
you're good. I
I
mean,
want
I normally do my show with you anyway, so
with the but you got a guest, so I
I
want to
have a
make sure
guest.
that
Yeah,
Oh
we
no,
gonna
we're thriving. We're
yeah,
good.
okay.
Go ahead,
living our
So
speak.
best life.
so with Amir, I want to piggyback because I like the fact that it's two young people that I'm talking to, and um that you both have you're the same generation,
Mhm.
right? So it's interesting to sit back and hear, and not just hear, but I'm taking it all in because where Amira says she came from a single parent, a single mother, right? And where Daquan, you came from a single mother until you were a certain age,
Yeah,
and then your
two parent.
father
Yep,
came into
yep,
two-parent home, right? So you experienced both.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to hear the dynamic, that she had of, the foundation. Because a lot of I hear we did a show on can a woman raise a man
Yes, we did.
on her own.
Which was the
We did it.
premise to that question that I gave you earlier, where a young boy being raised by a single mother, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
And
go
and
ahead.
and so with that being said, it's interesting to hear the dynamic that you had a brother and that she raised him and she said these are the qualities that you need to have as a man.
Hmm.
Where certain, you'll have in culture where it's just like, no,
I
hey.
was looking for you. Nikki's down there.
Okay, I'll be there.
Hey, Quan.
What
You
up,
guys
Pop?
scoot over.
He said, "Hey, what's
Ha!
up, Dick?"
What up? Ha
Hey,
ha!
lady.
T8 Auto Sales right there. Yeah, on the shirt.
What did he say?
He said T8 auto
That's
sales.
right.
On the shirt.
Represent, baby. Put me on the
Yeah.
map.
So it's interesting to hear how your mother raised you so well and then raised your brother to have masculine traits.
Right.
Because a lot of people feel it can't be done. And so when you bring in what you said, she left a toxic father. Now, because she did not want for your kids to see this is how you treat a woman. Now, so Daquan and all my kids see me go through, we went through hell and high water, me and his father, with his anger, which a lot of black men from the inner city have, from my brothers to my uncles. It's and that's something that y'all need to have a show on. Why are a lot of these black men broken?
You mean
What was
you mean them having the anger that they have, or
anger and broken? They're angry and
Anger,
broken.
trauma,
when you're
all of
coming
that.
when you're from a broken household and the media is telling you to act a certain way, you start to believe the way the media is saying that you are portrayed. Think about how
Now,
the way the media when the way the media portrays black men is so awful. You start to believe in some way that that is who you are. That's why
self-fulfilling
representation matters
prophecy.
so much.
Yeah.
Self-fulfilling prophecy,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
hear that, but also it's not just self-fulfilling prophecy that they're putting on these black men. It is their environment. It's definitely media, but it's also your environment. You know what I mean? If you, like you said, if you're from a broken home, or if you're, because let's like you were just saying, your mom left for a reason. So did her mom have to leave for a reason? And then what happened from there? And then what happened from there? Because we passed this, we just You know what I mean? It's generational curses. It's passed down, passed down, passed down, passed down, passed down. I think I'm one of the very no. There's several of us who stayed in our relationships, which is unheard of because from before they, you know what I mean. We were from broken homes. From that broken home came poverty, came crime, came jail sentences. Within jail sentences came trauma. Um, so there's a lot of reasons that black men are toxic, including broken homes, including abusive parents, especially mothers, and alcoholism. So there's a whole bunch of reasons that they're like that. Now, with uh, my dynamic, with me being so strong, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, as a female,
Yeah, show them teeth.
Right. Show them tiger
Right.
teeth.
you
Show
see how
them tiger's
you
teeth.
see how strong those teeth are. I think that and my aunt was strong too. So it's just hard to say how kids are going to be with a toxic or inept man. Everybody chooses what they're going to do. Be a single mom. You know what I mean? I could have left and found another dude, but their father had the male dominant characteristics that I needed as a woman. You know what I
I,
mean? With
I
me
know,
being
I
toxic.
know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know
there's
exactly what you
there's
mean.
Yeah.
There's
qualities
a
there's
yeah.
qualities as a woman that I need. I'm gonna keep it 100, or we can say toxic or not. I'll take borderline toxic for all of the other qualities that he had because those are the qualities that I required from a man. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? You got to be more of a dude than me. That's just me personally. I could
That's
work
me
on cars.
personally
You
too.
know what I
I
mean?
won't.
I could do all of that. I don't want to be
There's
more of a
something
dude
about
than you.
being such a strong woman and having that intertwined with somehow being more masculine. I won't say it's incorrect, but when it comes to me searching for a man, I do need a man that is going to either submit my masculine traits or be more masculine than me. And
So where
it's
did
just
you get those traits from?
my
If you
mother.
were raised by
My
because she
mother.
had to be on her own.
So I was gonna make a point about what you had said. Like at with there being a single mom that leads to you guys made the point about can a single mother raise a son.
Mhm.
And I believe I don't think to their full capacity, not really. I do think there needs to be some sort of male role model in the house just because we can't relate to every dynamic a man goes through because we're just not men. Even pretending to relate to every aspect a man goes through is just not even it's just not real. It's just like a white person saying like, "Hey, oh yeah, like I understand, I get it, bro," and then tries to relate on some certain level. You can't.
That's
You
a
can't.
whole show right there. A
Oh, it
whole
is.
show.
We not
That's a
going. Let me
whole.
not get down
We
the rabbit
can't. We
hole.
can't because me and you will be like,
Oh yeah,
and
this
then,
is gonna be our background character, but I can go in on this. Sorry, Daquan, this your show. My bad, bro.
I'm letting y'all
anyway,
do your
it's just like,
thing.
and then, girl, and
So
then.
my point was to say is that like I did get a few. I got a lot of my masculine traits from my mom because my mom did raise us. There, after leaving my dad, you can choose to either sink or swim, and I understand some people's situations are it varies. But my mom was blessed to be in a situation where it was like, okay, well, Haji, you have the opportunity to sink or swim. And my mom chose to swim. Maybe it was hard to do, but you have two children now that you need to raise by yourself. So you need to make it work. So having us be around my uncles more or having us have at least even me being around my uncles more was important. My mom put my brother in Boy Scouts when he was like 7. So that would make me 10. I was in Boy Scouts too. And I had no problem with it. I didn't want to, I mean, I didn't in reality, I didn't want to be a Girl Scout, but having like, being in the presence of like just seeing men move seeing men or boys move a certain type of way, I gained a certain mindset of how to move. Even in high school, like, okay, so my dynamic is a little different because even in high school, I had a lot of male friends that, just taught me the ins and out of how to move in life. I wouldn't say this is lack of representation of my dad because my mom did leave my dad, but my dad was around. Like he was definitely
Mm,
still around. But
mm,
I live with my mom 90% of the year. So this
mm.
is my mom's going to show me a way to come up and be. So it has made me come off a little bit more like just a little bit more masculine. Like I met Daquan on the boxing team. I'm on the boxing team. Like, there's just certain things. There's a way that I've decided to move that definitely made me have a lot more masculine traits. But my goal is now I want to find a man that's going to be able to, like,
tone down that.
I didn't want to say it like that, but
I mean, see, oh my God, you're a mini me, right? We don't want to use specific words that like submit. You tell me submit,
right.
and I'm ready to fist fight, like
Exactly.
right now. You know what I mean? Like, what you mean submit? I submit.
What do you mean submit, bro?
You tell me to submit, but then I look at my husband. So my husband, even it's so funny because if you knew how angry bird this man was and just how damaged and just he's so angry. But and I guess I take no pride in saying, because we bucked each other, right? We tamed each other, we toned each other down. We had trauma bonds, which wasn't healthy, but we balanced each other. Because I'm telling you, if I had a dude who did not know how to rein me back, I would trample.
Maybe you are me.
I will trample like a cowgirl with some boots on right over. And I own my stuff, though. I own it. I would trample over a dude who does not know how to rein my power in. It's almost like, what's that girl from the X-Men where, she turns into a fireball and what is her name?
I don't know.
Who we talking about?
The girl from the X-Men who turns into the fireball. Phoenix. I'm like that. And if you can't talk me back,
you just gonna keep going.
Just gonna keep going.
I mean, she is like that.
Yeah. And his father has his way of reining me back. It's not in the healthiest way, but he's been able to, because he's a dude, because he's a toxic dude, and it's just sad.
I'm dead.
Toxic dude for toxic woman.
What it is. I want to dwell on this topic, but we will sit here forever, and I don't.
I was just about to say that.
I know you're in the chat. You're looking at.
I'm looking at the chat just because I'm looking at the time, and I was checking the time to when we started actually talking, and we're actually right on time. Because we started for about 25-30 minutes, and then we started there at about 35 minutes, and so we're technically at our hour. And I said we was gonna go a little over an hour. So
I was gonna say maybe we could push till like 5 o'clock.
That's what I was saying. So we can definitely go, but we'll start getting to the point where we're gonna give our final thoughts, wrap up, and for the last little bit.
What are we calling toxic men?
Huh?
What are we calling toxic masculine? Toxic?
I will let you guys answer that first, and I'll come in after.
What do we call it? What do we call toxic men?
Let's say rather than what would we call a toxic man?
Toxic.
What are you asking? Like, what are some of the traits of a toxic man, rather than what do we call them?
Because we're saying that we're living in this male toxic type of society.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? Because I'm married to a very toxic man, but I'm toxic too, right? So that is another episode, but do women sometimes play into that, and how? And then also, are we saying that male, because if I think about male being in a male toxic world, it's where men get to tell us, they enforce what our roles are, whether we like it or not. They enforce what our gender role is going to be, what our status is going to be. I see a male toxic as, I'm man, I'm above you. You know what I mean? I'm the omega and the psi, and you're under me. I think when we make laws to where women have to obey and submit, and that's what I think of male in a male toxic society, because America is there. We're there, but there's a lot of other cultures that are way worse, where women aren't even allowed to show their skin. You know what I mean? So with male toxic here, it's kind of like, yeah, we are, but we're working on it. You know what I mean? We're a work in progress, where some countries, women are just seen, they're really male toxic, where women are just seen as vessels.
Objects.
Objects, women, sperm in, have my babies, and go away, shut up somewhere. You don't even have a voice at all. And if you do, they'll put you in jail. You know what I mean? Like, so here we're working on it. So I guess I'm just trying to figure out what are we saying is male toxic, and yeah,
So
that's my definition.
personally, to me, at least from the experiences that I've had, I dwell a lot more on the emotional side for men. I feel like I actually look at it as I take pity. It's a form of pity actually, because I feel it's horrible that men are not able to express their emotions. So
Mm.
in like we talked about this a little bit at the beginning, but diving into the fact that in relationships or just in life in general, having male friends, they don't talk about their feelings. I've had plenty of my male friends tell me that they in their actual male friend groups, they don't talk about their feelings. Someone could have just died in their family and they'll just be like, but that's life and that is what it is, and it has nothing to reflect on it or anything like that. It makes me have a form of pity, because for me, I really do care about a lot of way too many people's emotional well-being, and that includes my male friends and my partners. So you not being able to open up, it seems like it's going to be a setback for you in life and a
Mm.
setback for me in life when it comes to you not being able to express your emotions.
Mm.
That built up energy that you have inside of you and
Mm.
carrying it around all day is what's going to make you angry. And I'm not
Mm.
calling out your husband, but
No, oh no, girl, every single part of that. I'll be telling him that. Girl, listen, when I tell you that, he will tell me out of his mouth, I've had to repress who I am and keep it in. You know what I mean? That does make him talk. You're
right,
absolutely right. It's
that
a
will make
mental health thing.
anybody upset. That will make
Yeah.
anybody angry. So when I like to because toxic masculinity is such a broad spectrum. It's at this rate it's an umbrella term. I want to make sure that
Yes.
at this rate it's an umbrella term. So I
Yes.
don't want to get into too broad of a topic about it, because I mean we already have, but I like to focus a lot on the emotional aspect and making sure that men are aware that it is a safe, it's not even, I can't speak for all women, because there's toxic femininity as well. And there are women that are going to be like, well, I don't want a man that cries. And I'm going to look at you like, is he not real? Is he plastic? Like I don't understand that. I don't understand that ideology or that thought process. It just
Mm-hmm.
shows me I don't need to be speaking to those women, but
Mm.
I think
Maybe
those
you do
women need to
though.
be more educated from the point of view that
Exactly.
men are
Exactly.
supposed to get, just
Exactly.
as much love and nurturing as you get. All you're
That's right.
doing is building an angry person, and now
That's
they
right.
get to, and especially if they're a black man, now they get to fit the angry black man narrative.
Yep.
I don't.
Oh, honey,
That's not how we're
my
trying to
husband's
create
about to go
people.
to therapy. You hear me? You about to get this mess out. You about to throw this mess up. We ain't
Oh
having
right,
this.
right. Because
So I'm all
messing
about
with
mental
me,
health.
baby. I want to know it all. Like
It's
I
all
don't
about
have
mental
time for
health.
them repressed. I don't have time for those repressed feelings. Like my last relationship, it took me. I was talking to. I dated him for a month, but I was talking to him for like six. I was talking to him for like 6 months. It took me like 3 months in to get him to actually express any real emotion. Why I stayed so long, don't know why. But you expressing any, like, it took me 3 months for you to explain to me, like, that your day was better than fine. This
Mm.
teacher happened to actually get under your skin today because you feel like they called you out in class because of the color of your skin. Let's talk about that.
Mm.
Expressing your emotions, you need to realize
Mm.
that they are validated and they are real. But
Yes.
that's the world we're changing into, because like you mentioned earlier, that we are evolving. This society is evolving.
Yes.
So hopefully down the line, or at least when it comes to my children's generation, that they'll feel more comfortable to express who they are and what they want to be. That's why ooh, I know we're coming real close up on time,
We're good.
but
We're good.
I got one good question for
We're good.
sorry.
You got
Okay,
time. You got time.
let's say, okay, I'm making a scene, all right, a scenario, and I think the chat would like this as well.
Hmm.
If you have a child and they're 3, you have a 3-year-old son, and we're in Toys R Us. Would you, and your child picks up a doll, would you allow your son to keep the doll?
Yeah.
What kind of doll?
It's a doll, any doll.
What kind of
The
doll? Can't be any doll.
it's
You know what
it,
I
it
mean?
it's not.
A
It is
Barbie doll.
a.
A
Let's
Barbie
go
doll.
for Barbie doll. Barbie
But you
doll,
used to
Bratz
play.
house.
You used to play Barbie with Destiny.
Yeah, I
Your
did.
sister.
Your mom is lit.
Yeah.
Your mom is lit.
That's why
That
but
how
I
there's
think
there's no way
that's
any woman
listen.
your age said that.
Listen, I already know, and I know exactly where he was going with it, because not just any woman her age, but women my age too. You know,
Yeah.
because this was a thing that was going around on social media. I'm sure you saw this, where it was a kitchen set, and it was like, would you let your young boys play with this? And so many people was like, nah, I ain't letting my son
No.
play with no kitchen
But
set.
if your dude comes, if your son grows up to be a chef, he needs that
But
kitchen
the
set.
whole thing is just like, for me, I didn't look at this Barbie doll as a girl thing. I just looked at it as a toy. You know,
As a toy to play
that
with.
was it. It was a toy to play with my sister. My sister liked it.
Right.
I was like, shoot,
You're
let's.
probably gonna get over in like 6 months.
And that was the thing, right? It's so, you know, that, but I do 100% see where you was going with that. But we're both going to have the same answer to that question, because we was already there, and she let me play with them. You know what I mean? And it never even became a thing. We had a Barbie doll. I actually gave my sister one of my Power Ranger toys, because I like playing Barbies with her so much. So I was like, here, I took the Power Ranger suit off of my Power Ranger doll and gave it to her, since her
weren't you sweet?
yeah, her Ken doll broke, so I gave her the dude, and he was pecked out. He had 8-pack, and we called him Titty Man. Yeah, you remember Titty Man? Yeah, his pecs was huge. I don't know why his pecs was so huge. He was buff as he wanted to be, so we just called him Titty Man. And I was like, yeah, we played with the Barbie dolls.
I'm going to say this, and this is going to be for another topic, but I like where you went, Daquan. You guys, you and Amara, you might want to write that down, because it's a great topic that goes over to a topic that a friend of mine, we're going to have a show about, which is kind of homosexuality, and when does that start? When do people start having these feelings and emotions and things of that nature? Because I'm gonna say something now, right? And this is gonna have to be for another show, but I want to answer your question. If he wanted to pick up a doll, I didn't care, because he needs to know how to change diapers too. He needs to know how to interact with females too. So I didn't care. However, I'm gonna say, if he wanted to dress up as Barbie for Halloween, I might have been like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Now, they used to wear my shoes, and I didn't see any problem with it. You know what I mean? They would scuffle around in my high heel shoes. I never looked at him and was like, take them shoes off. It was just like, he's wearing the shoes. He puts the boots on. He puts my shoes on. He puts boxes on his feet. So I'm not really concerned about that. But if he wanted to dress up as Barbie, I probably would have been like, I mean, because he was a Teletubby, I didn't care that he was a Teletubby, and I didn't care which Teletubby he picked, because
Teletubbies more gender neutral.
Right, but if he wanted to dress up as Princess
Barbie,
Leia or Barbie, then I probably would have been like, I don't know.
I honestly
You wouldn't have let me
don't
do it.
know how I would have felt, how I would feel about that as a mother.
Yeah, she wouldn't have let me do that.
I don't and if I'm being honest with you, that your hesitation shows me you probably wouldn't have let him do it, just because of the ridicule and no time to think about it.
Well, I just would have wanted to know why he wanted to dress up as
Barbie.
That's why I said that's for a different topic.
Yeah.
That goes into when people are talking about this gender neutral and homosexuality, letting these kids be who they want to be at a certain age. I don't agree with that. I'm sorry. This is a different topic, Daquan. I'm sorry, but it kind of sets you up for your next show, maybe. Because I said, okay, I used to act like a total. I had 5 brothers. I played football with them. I wore my shirt over my head, and they used to be like, "You're a girl, put your shirt down." But I thought I was a whole dude when I was young, right? So if they would have let me,
see you on the line now.
Yeah,
post up like,
yes.
So
listen,
there was a dude's like, yeah,
I was a whole dude, Now, if they would have been like, "Oh, she just wants to be a boy," and they let me change my gender and get a sex change at a young age because of behaviors that I'm acting at when I'm 8, you know what I mean? Like, oh, she's gay. I'm super not gay. I mean, you should not say that I am at 8 because I'm acting like a boy. So that's where I'm just like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
so that's actually a really good conversation. That would have to be another.
It's definitely its own topic. That I don't even think we would be able to include homosexuality into. It could be attached to homosexuality and how it is overarching, because it's these are childhood things and looking at origins and stuff like that. So yeah, it can attach to that, but there's that will require us some planning out to see where we want this conversation to go. But since we are running short on time at this point, I do gotta look, and we do gotta start getting some final thoughts out, because I already said that we had
for you to say what you think toxic masculinity is.
Oh,
we said you didn't, and you're the male.
Got a point.
that's true. I guess I'm just
For
looking more at time management at this point.
Where you gotta go?
Because I'm cutting. I'm cutting the clips, and when I'm looking at it as overall video, you know, I'm looking at the attention spans, the stream. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, that's I'm looking at that. Yeah. That I'm looking at what I gotta do after this is over. So yeah,
that's that female toxic that we got in us.
Yeah, I'm outnumbered here too, so I can't really say too much. But so as far as what I believe a toxic male is and what toxic masculinity is, I do believe toxic masculinity is rooted in culture and tradition, and I think that we as people decided, for practicality's sake, we're going to have the men be responsible for the physically demanding jobs that require us to survive, aka hunter-gatherers.
Yes.
And this is just based off of nature, you know, the physically more capable dude, or the physically, and this isn't just the dudes, it's the most physically capable men were the ones who went out and hunted, and the less physically capable ones gathered. So it was men did these more physically demanding jobs. We took that and we kept these things that kept our survival rate up in a time where we're facing first world problems, and survival isn't the reason we have these roles. It is for establishments of power dynamics. We don't have these roles for survival anymore. We don't have the hunter-gatherer for survival no more. So that's where it turned from practical to toxic, because you like, we're going to leave these establishments in place simply because I want to have this person being in the more dominant role, the more controlling role. So I think that historically is back.
Again, with the laws and be beneath me, woman. You know what I mean?
You're sideways, Amir.
Oh, I don't know what happened.
You hit a button.
You touched something.
You touched something.
I did touch something.
Stop touching stuff. Yeah, I think.
No, you flipped and then you flipped back.
I think what Amir said was there's so many levels to this, where she said it's an umbrella now.
It is, and that's exactly what I'm saying. Is like, you got, looking at it historically, it becomes this from historically to this socially, and then you look at it from person to person with toxic masculinity. And I think that when I was explaining this to earlier with Amir, is that I think that these terms are umbrella terms, but I think they're intertwined with toxic femininity. And that's where me and Amir earlier were talking about how women have the same expectations of men that men have of themselves.
Absolutely, but they get mad. You're damn straight.
Exactly. So it's like, we've had this conversation. One of the girls, I told Amir about this girl, the girl I talked to in Toledo, who, you know, got mad at me because I told her, hey, please don't say that to me, that hurts my feelings. You're back, Amir.
I flipped
you flipped it over. So it's like, her expectation is that I'm not allowed to be vulnerable with you, because that vulnerability is weak. And this is like I said, like I told Amir, this is not unique. She's not the only woman I've talked to like that. You know, a lot of women are like this. So if men feel like this is not what women don't want vulnerability. Women do not want approachability. They don't want openness and understanding. They want stoic, strong, big man with hairy chest looking.
All of the movies, I saved you.
Yes. So you want these cliches based in traditional male stereotypes. And then complain about the fact that he doesn't have feelings. But then if this man does show you his feelings, then many women will take those feelings he showed and weaponize them. We've seen this happen before. So
yeah, he's eating today.
So
he's eating today.
There's so many things that go into this and that's the whole reason
We can
why
do another topic.
when me
We
and
can do
Amir
it
spoke
again.
about it, I added femininity to it because I was like, I can't talk about toxic masculinity without talking about toxic femininity. And today we talk mostly about toxic masculinity, so maybe we can have another discussion about this and talk about how toxic femininity relates to toxic masculinity. But
And that,
I feel like they have to be spoken in the same sentence because
yes,
when you have one, you're probably going to have another, you know.
yeah, yeah.
So
You
that's my final thoughts really about what I think toxic masculinity is
and I know
entailed.
you're about to read your comments. I just
I am going to read the
really
comments,
30,
but I know that
30.
Amir, you didn't you about to go to sleep or something? You said
Me?
something about 5 o'clock. You got something to do at
I
five
said
o'clock.
something about pizza at 5 o'clock.
Okay, you gotta get your pizza for 2 hours. I know you got your thing. I want you to
Okay,
get to
but
them before
you're
they
good.
close.
You're good. We're the only time I gotta go is when my friend needs to drop something off. So,
Okay.
but that's
I
not.
know.
He
I
won't show
wanted
up
to
for 20 minutes.
Okay, because I was gonna say I am gonna
masculinity.
read the comments, but I wanted to make sure
Yeah,
everybody got to say
We're
what they
good.
were gonna say. I know y'all were having y'all a conversation, y'all back and forth. I wanted to
yeah,
let
yeah,
y'all
yeah.
have that, and I'm gonna get to the comments, and we can reply to those comments. But we got to make sure that we
Okay, real
get to the
quick.
comments.
Masculinity was toxic. Masculinity has been toxic where when a woman married a man, first of all, we had to marry a man to prove ourselves that we were worthy.
That
Our
part.
worthiness came from a man,
Yes.
Joe
right? If
did.
Hmm.
we weren't able to be married, if we were called
Yeah,
spinsters, we
your
were looked
value was
down upon.
determined by men. Yeah,
Yes,
all day.
Right.
and if you couldn't get married off, you was looked at as horrible. You
Hmm.
had to
Right.
stay within your marriage, even if he had a second family, because if your marriage failed, you failed as a woman, not
Hmm.
him as a man.
Hmm.
Also, they told us what to do. Once you married him, you lost all rights. He had ownership over everything, financial and everything. So a woman had no rights whatsoever. These were laws. These were laws. A man could whoop you. He was allowed to whoop you with a belt in public. There's laws that were specifically geared towards men ownership of
Bro,
women.
what?
Yes, honey. Yes, there's laws. When men owned their women, so you didn't have ownership papers, but once you married, he owned all the assets.
Right.
You weren't able to touch any of the assets. No banking. You couldn't do any of that. You
Oh
couldn't
wow.
apply for credit cards. Me and Daquan, he had did a research paper in college, where the man was putting his wife over his lap and saying, "You better ask your husband, or he's going to spank you." These were actual ads from the
Oh yeah,
40s and
yeah, I remember
50s.
that. Yeah,
You
I
better
remember that.
ask your husband, or he's going to spank you. And he
Yeah.
had his wife over top of his lap like he was going to spank her. She didn't she There's stories of women who they were able to be put in incarcerated if they did things towards their men, like if you tried to do some financing and he wasn't allowing you. That's right here in America. So it's been very, I think it's way more male chauvinist with laws that were trying to come from underneath. You know what I mean? Like I said, you were actually allowed to whoop your wife in public and get away with it.
Right,
That's
So
wild.
right.
Wow.
Okay, so let me see. I'll ask y'all, do y'all have any final thoughts y'all want to get out of there before
that
I
was my
start going to
final
the chat?
thought.
That's your final
I'm
thought.
sorry.
Mary, you have
I'm
any
good.
final thoughts you want to get out of there?
No, I'm good. Go ahead.
Okay, let me catch up on chat. Chat, I'm sorry. I've been reading chat. I've been keeping up with y'all, but I'm gonna go back for about I'm gonna go to chat that's about 30 minutes ago. um, so let me see. But I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. Oh, I'd rather a single parent household. Okay, that's referring
Yep.
to the question. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Which I like how you said that you was like obviously, but then we added our little it's a son and it's a single mom, and then it became more complicated. So I think that might be how we have to ask those questions from now on, rather than putting it in a vague terms. We ask specifically, because I think when people think that, they start thinking gender roles, they start thinking masculine, feminine, and things like that. But if you
Yeah, I
ask it
think you're right.
vague, you're not putting a face on it.
And how toxic is the father? Is he an alcoholic? Is he a drug
That's
abuser?
Well,
that's that's what I basically
my
said.
question that I proposed to Amir earlier was, would you rather a child grow up in a household with a two-parent nuclear family household, but the relationship is very toxic and it's very rocky and it's very messy and it's very chaotic, arguing, anger, lots of that, and or would you rather that child grow up in a single-parent household? And I changed it a little bit because I was like, okay, let's change it and say, would you rather this son grow up in a toxic household, chaotic, anger, arguing all the time, things like that? Or would you rather him grow up in a single mother household and potentially avoid that, chaotic relationship?
Depends on how much the father contributes to the house. Like I said, I know a man who was there, who was worth two hot quarters rubbed together with poop on them. So
still, do you think he should be present in the household regardless?
Hell to the no.
Yeah, that's
Hell to the no. Nah, for what?
Right.
Right. You said for what?
There you go. Yeah.
What are you here for?
If the relationship toxic, it can only breed more toxicity. That's a fair point,
Sure.
JCM girl. It's a fair point.
Very true.
I think there needs to be more village mentality, being raised by a village, having aunties, uncles, and elders that aren't related by they got your back in the role model aspect. Yeah, but that's hard to have in an American society that prioritizes individuality and praises it. So
Ooh, Lord, you better speak
I
on
can't,
that. Good
I can't
gracious.
say we're gonna have it takes a
You want
village.
a village, but doesn't mean you're gonna get it.
Yeah, because you don't even have that in communities. We
It's all
out
for self.
for us, and
Yeah.
and we got the mentality that, and like I said, it's praised in American culture where even if you got to step on the next man to get elevated, they're gonna be like, hey, he did what he had to do,
Right.
and people won't really be offended or upset by that. So I like the idea of the village mentality, but
It's not realistic.
I'm a very practical, realistic kind of person, and we've talked about this a lot, Amira.
Mhm.
My cynicism will not allow me to think that we can achieve that kind of village mentality. Nessa, I'll preface my thoughts by saying I rarely practice what I preach, unfortunately. I mean, I respect that, Nessa, but I personally hate seeing kids have to see all the arguing and stuff. So single mother is better in that aspect. However, I also know firsthand how much having a deadbeat parent messes with kids too.
There you
Yep.
go. That's
Alexis
what I was
sperm donor,
saying.
yep,
If
and for
he's
years had a very
deadbeat,
negative
then
impact
what's
on
the
her
point
life.
of being there?
That's
You toxic and you deadbeat?
Yeah, right.
yeah,
What's
that's
about?
right. You're actually only
You're
negatively
just
contributing.
you're a liability at this point.
You
You're not
are.
operating.
Because you're only showing, oh, this is men. This is the only man or one of the prominent men in this person's life is garbage. So I'd rather
Yeah,
you not be
correct.
there at all. So
Exactly.
maybe this person
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
idolize other people. Because like I said, you know me, I grew up idolizing Steve Irwin. That was my first hero. So I'm seeing this person who is nothing but positivity, and I'm trying to model my being after this person. But if before that I got a person standing in front of my guy, and he's showing me all the toxic ways of being, then that I'd rather him not be there at all, because you're not
Yeah,
helping.
Right.
that was toxic and cussing, but he was out cussing out, changing brake pads and changing oils and
Right.
tearing
There
off
were,
buses
and that's the
and
thing. It's
building
like
offices and mowing
you have to
grass and
acknowledge that yeah, my dad was toxic, but he also had so many good
he
qualities
contributed like a
that you
mug.
can take and you can admire and aspire to be, that it's like, yeah, I mean, my dad was rough, but
He
he's
built my
still
sheet room
he did.
and my
He
dance
did.
room.
And he's taught me so many things that have helped me become a better man, that it's like, yeah, you have toxicities, absolutely, but I can look at that and be like, yeah, there's pros and cons almost in the way that
Yeah.
I'm looking.
And
But
I
yeah,
wasn't bowing
I
down to
like
that
that.
toxic behavior either.
I mean, you also have to realize that the individual is doing the best they can under the circumstances of the way they were raised.
That's true, but
No,
there are
now,
times that he
granted-
did not.
I was gonna say,
This-
now granted, just because you were raised a certain way, even if it wasn't your fault, it's still your problem. So you have to fix what
You gotta
has
handle
been.
you
You have
you
to
gotta,
reverse the
yeah,
problem.
yeah.
To reverse the problem that was
Want to.
created.
And
And
just
want to.
just acknowledging a problem isn't fixing it. You
Oh,
can't
no.
you can't acknowledge a problem and be like, yeah, I got this toxic
I
issue,
got
or
this mother
you-
effing problem.
yeah, I'm a real angry dude, but I ain't going to therapy. Hell nah. Like,
I'm not
okay,
going there.
but
That
you
part.
first step to solving the problem is acknowledging the problem. Now get the
I'm
hell out
gonna
my
shoot the
face.
problem.
You know,
I'm
like,
gonna
yeah,
shoot.
you
I'll
know,
shoot that
I
motherfucking
can't.
problem.
You can't acknowledge a problem and just be like,
No,
I
yeah.
did it. I did it. I know I got a problem. That's it. I know it. So I definitely see that's true. DCK. Okay, so when you are a parent, you automatically become a role model. If the model isn't a good role model, should you still be near them just so you can learn the bad habits? That's why I believe a single parent household would be better. That actually is a fair point too, because do you remember when Cardi B said that she's not she don't want to be a role model? And we had this discussion and saying Cardi don't get to decide if she's a role model or not. Because you're a famous influencer, you're a big, huge world star celebrity. You no longer have a choice in the matter of saying I'm not a role model. You can say I'm not a good role model.
Right.
You can say that, but you do not get to say I'm not a role model. And that's the same when you become a parent. You don't get to say I'm not a role model. You are a parent. You are now a model. Doesn't matter if you're a good one or a bad one, but you are. So I agree 100%, DCK.
Yeah.
Someone told me I wasn't a real woman because I cut my hair.
All right.
JCM, girl, that's listen. Come on now,
girl. Don't even.
You got two women who would look. DCK should have punched him. Man,
I bet you look fire.
Man,
punch him in his titties.
And punch him in his man titties.
Right.
Sarah, no way. I'm not a real woman because I don't cook. Listen, we went on the ball on that one. We went on the ball on that one. Nessa,
he be in that kitchen cooking me up some good old food.
Right.
Listen, I gotta tell you, he's actually about to cook. I was gonna say, did he already cook?
No, she said he already fed her.
He fed me earlier, but he's about to cook.
He about to cook. I was about to say he's got the meat out there. He's about to cook dinner.
And he's a hardcore dude, but
but listen, I'd rather him cook though, cause he good at it.
He can cook, yeah.
It ain't. And look, I ain't gonna shoot my mom down and nothing like that, cause she make good food. But
he just make better food.
He make
better.
My mom burn a lot of food too.
I get to see your mom on this stream, but I think it's the same place.
It's not. It's crispy. It's all it is. It's
crispy. It's a little too chewy.
So that's all it is. It's just crispy steak. It's a new style that they doing. They do it in Jamaica. I heard. They call it jerk steak or something.
I hate cooking.
Man, and that's hilarious though. Nessa, gender roles were pretty much flipped in my house growing up. So maybe that was more of an impact on who I am now than I realized. I don't like speaking ill of the dead and seeing us lost both my parents at this point. Can't really go into depth of my true feelings, but almost 37, and I can recall my dad having a job a grand total of a month out of my entire life, and I was at multiple places. That's crazy. So that was Nessa, Vanessa.
So I wonder did she say how that impacted her worldview?
Yeah, she's saying that it was more of an impact on who she is now than she was realizing, and she's starting to realize how much this impacted her.
Father?
Yeah, is what I'm getting is that it was a stay-at-home father.
I'm glad that she brought that up, because how do we as society view stay-at-home father?
Well, I was actually Amira, did we speak about that yet? Because I think we have not spoken about that. Where how would a man feel about himself, because we know that if a dude is a stay-at-home dad and he takes care of the kids and he cleans the house and his girl's got a real good job and he like, shoot, I'm chilling, and I'm gonna take care of the kids and watch them, I'll take them to school, do all that. He a stay-at-home dad, roles reversed. That he is going to get towed up. His male peer groups is probably gonna eat him up too.
They
right.
are.
You okay with your wife making more money than you?
And how many men? This is a good question. I would love to propose to a lot of men. No. How many men would be comfortable with themselves in that role?
Probably not many.
Probably 10%.
But it's only because society claimed that that they have to be the breadwinners, and the woman needs to be in the kitchen.
Now, do y'all think I got a question for y'all. I know we're real short on time. I'm gonna give about 5 minutes. I do want to give y'all a question though. Do y'all think that I almost lost my question? Hold on. I'm losing it. My thoughts. No.
Come on, bruh.
I'm losing it. Hold on.
Gender stay-at-home dads.
Yeah. So. Damn, I lost my question.
Would you
move on.
Would you be okay being a stay-at-home dad?
Would I be okay being a stay-at-home dad?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Would
you could see.
yeah. I look forward to being a
You
dad
be okay
anyway,
with
so it'd be more
okay
time
with
with me.
being cool too.
Nah, cause like it would be more time with me and my kids, and I already want to be a dad. Like I look forward to being a dad, so I get to spend more time
would
with
you
my
be
kids.
okay with not making any generating any income?
I would if I had the extra time, I would find a way to generate some income, or I would find a use for my time. So if that meant that
Heard
while my
being a
wife is
stay-at-home
gone,
dad
I
is
start.
really busy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you just so happen to have nap time for the kids and they down for 2-3 hours, maybe you want to relax. But if I had the time and the extra energy after dealing with all the kids and after cleaning and doing all the stuff that I would have to do as a stay-at-home parent, because that's almost like suggesting you'd have extra time as a stay-at-home mom, and we all know that
Right,
a lot of stay-at-home moms
right.
didn't have no extra time. So, but if I did have that extra time and energy, I would probably dedicate it to house projects, building an extension to the house,
Yeah,
building a shed, or digging a
there you
hole for
go.
something. Like but
Or
that's the kind of
pool, making the
person I
kids a
am.
swing set. Yep.
That's the kind of person I am. Is that I
Right.
I gotta do something if
Right.
if I have the
Probably
energy.
fixing a car, putting
Exactly.
So
on
it,
new tires, and
for you, it doesn't really matter what people are perceiving you as. It's just being
It
able
never
to have.
has. It never
Yeah,
has.
it's
It
it.
never
I
has.
figured. That's why
Yep.
I didn't
well,
think it would be a big deal.
Yeah, because it's like
well,
for
it what
me, and I'm the type that if I got my shoes from Walmart, I'ma tell you I got them from Walmart for $15. You might want to go check that
because
sale
when
out.
I
Right, you
tell
want to
you
go
when we
get a
went
pair.
Yeah, like
when we went to the
you're not
stores,
about to shame me because I ain't got the new J's on because I
get
got
on
these
them
fifteen
clearance
hundred. I
racks.
got these $15 shoes on with the memory foam insoles and they comfy as hell. Let's
You
go get
better
a
But like
say
pair.
that.
our
You better
generation
say
will
that.
do that to you though, because like
Absolutely.
honestly, I have this pair of shoes that look like Balenciagas, and I was at a party one time, and they're like, "You really wearing Balenciagas to a party?" I'm like, "No, I ordered these off Shein for $34.99. What you talking about?" And they just looked at me like I was
Yeah.
crazy. I'm like,
I told
y'all
my
thought they
I
were
told
Balenciagas 10 seconds ago.
I told my youngest son earlier today. I was telling him about the best way to buy a house right now. I said, buy you a house, save about 50,000, 60,000 cash, cash the house out, and then build it as you live there. It's all about economics. That's another show. But anyway, go to your next question. That
Yeah.
was really interesting about her actually
Having
having the gender
reverse roles, yeah,
reversed.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I wish I could remember my question, but my short-term memory loss kicked in for a little minute like Dory, and I lost it. Everyone in my household could cook. I actually find it weird when a man can't cook. That's interesting. That's interesting. And that's Vanessa who had the roles. The gender roles were reversed at that time,
Oh,
so that's
okay.
interesting.
Okay, yeah.
But it's weird to
Very
me if
I'm
women
sure
can't cook either.
in a household where the gender roles are flipped, I'm sure there's a better liberal standpoint in that
Most
household.
likely, just
Just
because
because
it's different from the
it's
social
against the
norms.
norm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My uncle used to
Not
make
just
us
the
Mickey Mouse
state,
pancakes and
the,
stuff.
the
Hey,
gender
that's fire.
the gender roles being reversed like that in a black household. Oh
Mm.
my God, a black
Mhm.
man is gonna get the damn business,
Yeah.
especially if it's from the inner city.
And I
That
wonder
man
how
is getting
that
business.
would not
That's
just
because that's
men
from
but
hustle
women
culture.
too. Like like I feel like women would also probably give him the business as well, not just
Yeah, because
men.
it's a part of because hustle culture comes from black culture, and you're not a man if you ain't out here hustling, are you?
I mean, that's one of those things I was telling you about
Another
earlier. Is,
topic.
you can't. These are another one of those things, specific things you have to do as a man, or you're not a man. I
Right.
can cook. I just really hate it. Like I'll eat Chef Boyardee and ramen noodles before I'll cook something. That's my
Can I
mom.
have a bowl?
That
Make
is
me a
Sarah.
bowl,
That
please.
is my mom.
Make me a bowl, please.
That's what my mom thought. Home
Oh,
ec would teach me cooking and sewing. I opted out and took band. I took home ec too, and it didn't really change my opinion on cooking. I was already cooking anyway.
I was in there like, you want me to sew what? No. Is there a
No.
mechanics class? Can I go change some brakes?
I like food, so I like.
Can I go paint a car?
Oh, Nessa says that her dad was white and Native American,
Mm.
Interesting.
so it was a
That's
biracial
Yeah, but that's
household.
what I'm saying.
I guess,
I
but like
think
those are
white
still
people
two
may be.
strong
It is. It
male.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
That's a
is.
very
It's
interesting
still.
mix.
And I think that makes it even more interesting too,
It
because you're
does. It makes it
adding,
way more interesting.
that to it.
I want to.
Uh,
I want to talk to her on the next show.
oh
I
yeah,
want to see
yeah.
how that dynamic works.
Yeah, Nessa been a long time, almost day one supporter. So yeah, she's been around for a long time. Yeah, but if that's the case, for sure. Josh not knowing how to cook works my last nerve, to be honest, especially since he also has the audacity to try to be critical of everyone's cooking, like Dad. As well, like, bro, you can barely make a bowl of cereal, have all the seats. Because that is funny, because when my dad will ask Mom to cook, he'll micromanage her cooking and be like, babe, why are you stirring it like that? Babe, use the spatula and flip it. Don't stir it. Flip it. Flip the thing. And she'll actually do it. She'll turn around and be like, you want it?
Right, you want to flip it? Right.
That's actually funny. No, babe, do the cook. But first put the salt on there. Like,
turn your heat down.
Your heat is too high. You're going to burn the butter. Like, and she'll turn around and look at him. And it's so funny because I'll be in the kitchen just looking. She'll turn around and look at him like, you want it? Like her evil eye kicks in, and I feel the evil seeping out. I'll be like, oh, dad. No, cut it out. Stop. Stop. Like, you gonna get me in trouble. I'm here with you.
Right.
I'm in here too. Don't do that while I'm right here next to you. She just gonna start throwing them. I'm gonna catch an elbow and a cock back. Like, you get that because you with him. Like, no. Stop talking about the salt. I get it.
Did you side with
me? Stop asking her about the salt. I know.
Oh my God.
I'm toxic, girl. I'm toxic.
You made it clear at the beginning of the stream.
Look, man, listen. But that's the thing I like about both my parents, is that they both toxic and they both in their ways, and they both own it, and they both go at it, and it's funny because you just be there watching it like, what is wrong with y'all?
It's a whole reality show, I swear, because people will be like, how the hell are they together?
And then they'll get together and be like, all right, now that we done arguing about them eggs because they were supposed to be sunny side up,
I'll jump on his back and
then they'll be like, all right, now let's go over here and renovate this bathroom. I gotta lay the tile. You gonna grab the floor for me? Cool, let's do it.
Bruh.
Like,
hey, if the dynamic is working, you like it, I love it, Mom.
Man.
Hell of a dynamic. We are a hell of a team.
JCM girl, not gonna lie, I talked to my mom a lot about gender roles, and she's tried to teach me, made me uncomfortable, and now she's trying to work past it. So the trash is taken out by the last one to fill it. I like that. So it became less of a gender role and a specific task for the person who fills it up. I like that a lot. I like that a lot.
I like that. See, that's the way that we can work around these type of things, by coming up with creative and fun things.
Yeah.
You put the last.
You put the last thing. You look, and once you go over whoever put the trash on that goes over the brim, you taking it out.
I like that a lot.
So would you cut the grass by being the last person who walked on it?
Shut up.
No, okay, yeah, you pushing it.
Did I cross the line when I talked about cutting the grass?
Yeah, you pushing it. She was making sense. Yeah. You trying to make sense of herself.
Dang. All right, I tried. Dang.
If it's a riding lawnmower,
and you know,
then I feel like a female could cut it.
I'm pretty sure my whole chat is all women as well.
Yeah.
What do you think if it's a riding lawnmower? She could cut the grass if it's a riding lawnmower.
It's one of those things.
I don't think it's the point of the type of lawnmower.
Yeah, it's more of a thing that y'all like. I think for you, I think it's for like y'all. It's more of like the principle. Y'all very principle based. You know, you have your principles and you know what I mean. I get that. So I think that when you throw stuff in that, you start to have these principles almost questioned. And it's like, nah, like, this is just, it's not about the actual task. It's about the principle of who's supposed to do said task.
I agree. I agree with that, because I told y'all, if y'all see me carrying something, or if y'all see me cutting this grass and you don't come and take this lawnmower out of my hand or take these grocery bags out of my hand, you in trouble.
Yeah. That was
in trouble. But I'll cut the grass on my own.
It's not that she can't cut the grass or she can't lift this thing. It's that, hey, I'm not supposed to be doing this because y'all here. So that's another interesting thing. But I do like that, JCM girl. I like that.
I actually love that.
Yeah.
Oh dang. So chat is continuing to pick up. I'm never going to catch up with chat. So I'm gonna wrap this up
because they were excited.
Yeah.
Me too.
Well, they really do. Yeah, they like the Just Chatting streams, and like I said, I normally don't start my streams until about an hour from now. So I'm glad that you guys made it here early. I am going to jump back in later today and I'll continue to catch up with chat just to make sure that y'all get your voices heard, but I don't want to hold y'all here.
I do want to let chat know, since it seems like there's a few more people in here. If you like this type of content,
Yes, I was just about to tell you.
This is all what my podcast
yes.
is about. I love controversial topics that nobody likes to talk about, and that's my entire stream. So, you guys can follow my podcast on Spotify or on Apple Podcast. Yeah, I'm on Apple Podcast too. But you can follow the Instagram page called Side Note, and there's a C after the S.
SCI.
So,
wait a minute. What is it?
It's SCIDENOTE on Instagram, and it's on all platforms like that too. So I'm on a break right now, but I have 6 episodes that's released right now, and I'm trying to release reels still once a week. So check those out, y'all.
Okay.
You said side note?
Yep. I typed it in chat so people could have the spelling just in case.
I'm gonna check you out. I'm gonna support you for sure.
Yeah.
Well, please.
So
I'm trying to grow my channel.
I didn't want, because I'm like, I'll probably be here for the next 40 minutes reading chat. So yeah, I don't want to, because I'm like, if I'm at 2 hours 23 minutes now, I'm not bugging about the fact that I'm gonna have to chop this up. I already recognize that the way that we did this today, I was gonna have to chop it up anyway. But I recognize that people's attention spans, they not gonna sit through no 2-hour podcast.
Not gonna watch it. No,
but I might be put in a position where this is gonna at least be an hour and 20 minutes of a podcast, and I already said that's where I want to be at anyway, because I want to make sure that we're not limited by our time, and we're not limited about the fact that we want to expand on our ideas, and make sure that we get to say everything that we felt like we wanted to say and address chat, along with being able to get our thoughts out. So I said an hour 20 minutes. We're about an hour and 30. So thank everybody. I hate the fact that I couldn't keep up with chat the way that I wanted to and get all your thoughts.
We got into it.
But y'all said a lot. Oh, Xander, man, I'm sorry I missed you. I'm gonna be right back. Give me a little bit of. I'm gonna eat something. I'm hungry. I ain't ate today.
Yeah.
So she about to go get her pizza. I'm kind of jealous because I do want some pizza, but she about to go get some nasty Papa John's.
No,
so
I'm getting local pizza.
You getting local pizza?
The vote said 60% to get local pizza.
Oh, okay, so it was close. You was about to get nasty Papa John's.
It was 3 options. Marcos was winning.
Marcos ain't no better than Papa John's.
Marcos is better than Papa. You know what? Let's not do this.
Okay, yeah, because we about we about to go back and have that. So thank y'all. Thank you to Amira. I appreciate you for being my honorary guest today. Thank you to Mama for being my surprise guest, who I didn't know was going to be here today because she was asleep when I started the stream, so I didn't think she was going to be up. She was out, rested peacefully. So she was done. And thank everybody for coming through and making your voices heard on the podcast. And I'm like I said, I'm gonna do this more often. And I will be back on streaming later today. So if you missed me earlier and you're just coming in and you're just tuning in, like I said, I'm sorry, Xander. I appreciate you for coming through. But if you got some free time later, you want to come through and you want to hang out, be here. JCM girl, Sarah, Nessa, thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. DCK. And I'm going to wrap this up. And y'all go ahead and y'all say y'all goodbyes and we're going to be out of here. Thank y'all. Thank y'all to everybody.
All right,
love y'all.
Bye, guys.
Peace
Bye,
out,
Mira.
everybody.
Yeah, it was nice meeting you.
Nice meeting
What's your name?
Tasha.
Tasha, nice meeting you, Tasha.
Nice meeting you too.
All right,
Hope
I'll
to
talk
see
to you later.
around.
Yes. Peace out, everybody.